Hello, y'all. This is Julian Rico. This is NFL Week 16 update. Let's get to it. Let's start on Thursday night with the Chargers getting a huge win against the Denver Broncos, 34-27. Justin Herbert, 23 out of 31, 284 passing yards, two touchdowns, a pick, and a QB rating of a 110.1 rating as the Chargers keep their playoff hopes alive with a 9-6 record. Meanwhile, for the Broncos, they will have to win next week, which is going up to Cincinnati, take on the Bengals to clinch that playoff berth with a 9-6 record. Let's go to those Saturday games with the Houston Texans falling short to the Kansas City Chiefs, 27-19. Patrick Mahomes, who did not look like he had a high ankle sprain, so I'm going to just say he doesn't have a high ankle sprain. He should be good. Patrick Mahomes, 28 out of 41, 260 passing yards, one passing touchdown, a QB rating of a 93.5 rating, and he also had a rushing touchdown as the Chiefs are one game away to clinch that number one seed in the AFC with a 14-1 record, while the Texans fall to 9-6, and of course, Tank Dell is out for the season, and they did claim Deontay Johnson, the former Panther and Raven wide receiver, now going to play for the Texans to replace Tank Dell. The Ravens, on the other hand, had a huge divisional win against their rivals, the Steelers, 34-17. Lamar Jackson, 15 out of 23, 207 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 INT, a QB rating of 115.4 rating, as the Ravens are inching closer to a division title with a 10-5 record. Meanwhile, for the Steelers, they got to snap out of it because they got to get ready for their home game against the Kansas City Chiefs. And boy, that's going to be a tough game for the Steelers. Let's go to Sunday. Michael Penix Jr. had his debut. However, it was his defense that helped him, beating the Giants 34-7. Bijan Robinson, 22 carries, 94 rushing yards, averaged 4.3 yards on the ground, 2 rushing touchdowns as the Falcons get in a 8-7 record and try to keep that playoff race alive, which I'll get to that in a minute. And the Giants, 2-13, and I expect them to clinch the number one overall pick in their next game against the Colts. The Lions get a rebound win against the Bears, 34-17. Jared Goff, 23 out of 32, 336 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, a QB rating of a 137-point rating, as the Lions inching closer to clinching the number one seed in the NFC with a 13-2 record. While the Bears fall to 4-11, and they got to get ready for a short week against the Seahawks. Last home game of the season. All right, let's get to a good one. The Arizona Cardinals taking on the Panthers, and boy, let me tell you, I was in that game. It felt like we're in a 2015 NFC Championship game. The boys, let me explain to you how this happened. It felt like I was at the 2015 NFC Championship game between the Cardinals and the Panthers. The fans were making a lot of noise. Let me tell you, that game, it felt like memories in that last home game. What a win for the Panthers, 36-30. Chuba Hubbard, 25 carries, 152 rushing yards, 6.1 yards average on the ground, 2 rushing touchdowns. The second came from an overtime game winner. The Panthers go to 4-11. The Cardinals will fall to 7-8, and they're eliminated for playoff conditions. So the only thing they got to do is just play for pride. But this is a huge win for the Panthers, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. If they beat New Orleans, if they beat Tampa next week, think about it. Next year, the Panthers are this inch to win the division next year. I'm excited for that. All right, let's keep going. The Rams beating the Jets 19-9 and keep their NFC West title race alive, which they're in. That they control their destiny to win the division. Kyren Williams, 23 carries, 122 rushing yards, average 5.3 yards on the ground. 1 touchdown as the Rams go to 9-6. The Jets fall to 4-11 in a rough year. Coming off a big win against the Jets is how it is. How about this? Jaden Daniels, man. Where did he come from? 24-39, 258 passing yards, 5 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, a QB rating of a 99.1 rating. As the Commanders get a huge win, taking down the Eagles 33-36, and they go to 10-5, while the Eagles fall to 12-3. And Jalen Hurts has a concussion. We are not sure if he'll play against Dallas. And if he's not, we're going to expect Kenny Pickett to play in this game against the Cowboys. With that win for Washington, that means Dallas is eliminated for playoffs. And then also Arizona is eliminated for playoffs as well. All right, the Bengals getting a huge win against the Browns, 24-6. Joe Burrow, 23 out of 30, 252 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, a QB rating of 134.3 rating. The Bengals keep their playoff chances with a 7-8 record, while the Browns, season's over, 3-12. Next list, find your new QB and not Deshaun Watson. The Colts get a rebound win against the Titans, 30-38. Jonathan Taylor, 29 carries, 218 rushing yards. How about that? We saw Saquon Barkley hit 200-plus rushing yards. Now look at Jonathan Taylor, 218 rushing yards. That's impressive. Average 7.5 yards on the ground, 3 touchdowns on the ground. The Colts keep their playoff chances alive with a 7-8 record, while the Titans fall to 3-12. A crazy game in Lumen Field as the Vikings win at 27-24 over the Seahawks. Justin Jefferson, 10 receptions, 144 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns as the Vikings go to 13-2, and they're in an inch maybe to clinch that number 1 seed. That's if they got to win it out and have Detroit to lose. That's what they need to do. Meanwhile, for Seattle, division title may not be happening, but we'll see how it goes for Seattle as they fall to 8-7. The Bills getting a big win against the Patriots, 21-24. James Cook, 11 carries, 100 rushing yards, averaged 9.1 yards on the ground, 1 rushing touchdown as the Bills go to 12-3, and the Patriots 3-12, and all of a sudden the Patriots season's still over. On to Las Vegas. Yeah, let's go to Las Vegas and say the Raiders, you blew your chances to draft Shedeur Sanders. They beat the Jaguars 14-19. Brock Bowers, 11 receptions, 99 receiving yards. He's been targeted 13 times. Raiders go to 3-12. And the Jaguars also fall to 3-12. Let me tell you, Las Vegas. Talk with Tom Telesco about why y'all won that game and when y'all had a chance to draft Shedeur Sanders. Yeah, go ahead and talk with Tom Telesco on this one. Miami keeps their playoff chances alive with a win against San Francisco, 29-17. Davon Achane, 17 carries, 120 rushing yards, average 7.1 yards on the ground. A touchdown as the Dolphins go to 7-8, and the 49ers, you're eliminated for playoff condition for the first time since 2020. Yeah, so Niners fall to 6-9. How about this one? The Cowboys upset the Bucs. This win means the Atlanta Falcons are back in first place. 24-26, the Cowboys win. CeeDee Lamb, 7 receptions, 105 receiving yards. He's been targeted 8 times. The Cowboys go to 7-8, and even though they're eliminated for playoff condition, they can just finish the season strong. While the Bucs fall to 8-7, and they gotta wake up because their last 2 games are at home, and they have to win their last 2 if they want to win the division. They just need Washington or Carolina, who Atlanta has to play them for their last two games. They have to beat Atlanta. All right, let's go to Lambeau. And yeah, New Orleans, you got your butts kicked 34-0. Injury on Cooper, the linebacker rookie out of Texas A&M. 10 total tackles, 8 solo tackles, 1 tackle for loss. The Packers defense step up and they clinch a playoff berth with an 11-4 record, while the Saints fall to 5-10. And yeah, all concerns on Christian Watson. I would expect to rest him because yeah, you already clinched a playoff spot, but also having rest for the playoffs. That is it for today for my NFL Week 16 updates. And again, I will try to do my NFL Week 17 predictions right about now. Again, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel. If you want to see my Week 15 update, go ahead and check that on my channel. Again, see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.